Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nishavataраkan Tat Prakasham Satat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakan Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityaānanda Sahoditau Gauradaye Pushpavanatau Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau Granthera Arambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinirasmarana Hoya Bigana Vinashana Anayasa Sapal Nija Vanchita Purana Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Yahi Mora Pade Yara Asha Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Yara Asha Caitanya-caritāmṛta Kahe Krishna Dasa Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityaānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Panchtatvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hare Kṛṣna Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Om. That's it. Hey Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. Today is Snan Yatra Utsav. So we'll begin our reading by watching a very short, sweet, wonderful bathing ceremony of Lord Jagannath.
Close your mute.
Oh, so sorry. So one devotee shared this small video, so thought to share with everyone on this auspicious day of Stan Yatra. And I shared a class by His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj. So if you're interested, you can hear that for more details about this festival. But for now, we will move on to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 5, entitled The Glories of Lord Nityānanda Balarāma, and we have read till text 29, so we'll move on to text 30. Salokya samipya sarshti swarupaya prakara chari mukti diya kare jivera nistara. Translation and purport by Avicharana Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. He delivers the fallen living entities by offering them the four kinds of liberation: Salokya, Samipya, Sarshti, and Sarupya. Purport: there are two kinds of liberated souls: those who are liberated by the favor of the Lord and those who are liberated by their own effort. One who gets liberation by his own effort is called an impersonalist, and he merges into the glaring effulgence of the Lord, the brahmajyoti. But the devotees of the Lord who qualify themselves for liberation by devotional service are offered four kinds of liberations, namely Salokya, status equal to that of the Lord; Samipya, constant association with the Lord; Sarshti, opulence equal to that of the Lord, and Sarupya, features like those of the Lord. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So we were talking about the Lord's wonderful pastime. Today is the bathing pastime of the Lord. We take bath every day, or maybe more. What's so special about it? Nothing is special about the ordinary jiva taking bath. But when the Lord takes bath, it becomes very, very special, and it's utsav. And actually, this Snan Yatra also marks the appearance of Lord Jagannath. So this was the day the Lord appeared, Lord Jagannath appeared. So very, very special day. Now, we read in the last verse that the Lord delivers the jivas. How? By coming and doing various pastimes for our benefit, for the benefit of the jiva. And then he delivers the jiva. How he delivers? By offering them 4 kinds of liberation. So let's discuss a little bit in more detail. You're able to see the white board?
Yes.
Okay. So there are 5 kinds of liberation or mukti, which people say that's the goal of life, but we'll talk about it. So the word sa is common. Sa is basically same. The word same also comes from sa. So the word sa is equivalent or same. So what are who knows? What are the 5 kinds of liberations? Anyone knows?
Yeah.
Sarupya.
Sarupya.
Very nice.
Salokya.
Salokya.
Then 3 Samipya.
Samipya.
Number 4 is Sarsti.
Number 4 is
Sarsti.
Sarsti.
And number
Nice.
5 is Sajujya.
Number 5, we'll keep a little down. Sajujya. So, in Sa, Rupa means form. So, same form. Literal meaning. Right? Getting the 4-handed form in all the Vaikuntha lokas, the Lord Narayan has the form with 4-handed form, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, and the Vaikuntha Vasi, like the Jai Vijay, also have the 4-handed form. Anyone knows then what's the difference? How will we distinguish Lord Vishnu from the Vaikuntha Vasis?
Rosie, can I say?
Yes, please tell.
Krishna, Lord Krishna has the Kasturba jewels and the Srivatsa in his chest. That's the 2 things we can.
Lord Narayana has, yes. Lord Narayana, because Krishna is a 2-handed form. So Kaustubha and the Srivatsa, the streak of white hair on the chest, where Sri Lakshmi Devi resides. So very nice. That's the distinguished feature. Loka means planet. So same planet, in literal meaning. Basically means going back home, back to Vaikuntha. Samipya, getting samip means closeness or proximity. So in proximity of the Lord, or getting in association. What's mentioned here, the word mentioned is constant association. So constant companionship or association of the Lord. And Sarshti is features like that of the Lord. Sorry, opulence. Same opulence. Sa is same, so opulence. So these 4 categories are for the devotees, and this is the impersonal, Sayujya. So to merge in impersonal Brahman, or also referred to as brahmajyoti. Right? So these four are for the devotees or Krishna conscious, and this is the Mayavadis, impersonalists who want to be one with the Lord, who want to. The famous example is given, like they say that the parrot, like the drop of water, when it goes with the water, it just merges with the water, right? But the drop of water remains a drop, and the ocean remains the ocean. They may be same in quality, so that's the difference in the achintya bheda bhed. That means similar in quality, but difference in quantity. Jiva is anu, or infinitesimal, small, and Paramatma, Ishwar, is vibhu, that means infinite. So Prabhupada is mentioning here that there are two kinds of liberated souls who are liberated by their own, by the favor of the Lord, and those who are liberated by their own effort. One who gets liberation by their own effort is called an impersonalist. Interesting. So impersonalists, this is again a very nice difference here in between the process of bhakti and the process of gyan, etc. The process of jnana and others relies on one's own tapa, jnana, buddhi, intelligence, all that, austerity. But in bhakti, yes, Prabhupada is mentioning, yes, we have to qualify to get that higher destination by showing our sincerity, by showing our enthusiasm, by showing our seriousness on the path of bhakti. Then Krishna will shower his kripa, right? The two fingers of Damodar Lila. One's endeavor, but one's endeavor is not sufficient to go back to Godhead. We are Kali Yuga cases. So just by relying on one's endeavor, devotees just don't think, hey, I can go back to Godhead. I'm all set. I'm chanting. I'm doing bhakti yoga. I'm go to temple. I read Bhāgavatam. I'm for certain. One's qualification is one's biggest disqualification. One who feels I'm entitled, that's a great disqualification. One who feels, Krishna, look at my chanting. I'm just falling asleep. My mind is going here and there. I don't have taste to read Bhāgavatam. I don't have taste to read Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. I have taste to watch nonsense movies, or I have taste to shopping and do, this and that. But when I hear Bhāgavatam class, I fall asleep. Look at my pitiable state. I am so fallen, Lord. You only can help me. I'm still trying, and I will continue to try, but only you can help me. So that's the humble disposition of a devotee. And in that is more pleasing to the Lord than one who thinks, like the milk drinking brahmachari, who felt that, oh, I drink only milk, I am entitled to see the dance of the Lord. And the Lord did not like that. So a grateful heart, the attitude of gratitude, is required to advance in bhakti. Humility, gratitude, and simplicity. So, but the Sayujya Mukti is also equivalent to Narakaya, Kevalya Narakaya Pati. So the devotees don't certainly aspire for that. What to speak of the other four? Devotees don't even aspire. What to speak of Sayujya? Devotees even don't aspire for the other four types of liberation. Pure devotees. Yes, we say chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, go back to Godhead, which basically means that the four types of liberations. But pure devotees don't even aspire for that. Pure devotees only aspire for Nam Janmani Janmanishwari Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahetuki Tvai. Just give me loving devotional service. Narayana Parasarve Nakutashchan Bibidhyati Swarga Apavarga Narkeshu Apitulyartha Darshana. Whether I am in heaven or hell, I just want the service to Sri Guru's lotus feet. This is only aspiration, nothing else. So that's Krishna consciousness. And these are the 4 types of liberation discussed here. Any other thoughts, comments anyone has in this text? Okay, let's move on to the next verse. Anyone who did not get a chance to read, I think Manjulali Priya wants to read. Yes, you can read 31.
Hare Krishna. Text 31. Brahma sayujya muktira taha nahi gati vaikuntha bahire hai tasa bharastithi. Translation. Those who attain Brahma sayujya liberation cannot gain entrance into Vaikuntha. Their residence is outside the Vaikuntha planets. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Ribol, you want to add something here?
Nothing. You can add.
So I think most of you have seen this picture, which I will show again for our reference. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Okay, so this is Krishna's creation. And if I edit here, anyways, yeah, so I can zoom in now. So this part, or Anantasheshan here, is supporting all the material worlds or material planets which are infinite, the egg-shaped Andantarastha Paramanujayantarastham, coming from the Karanodakshaya Vishnu, then the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then the Shirodakshaya Vishnu somewhere here. And this is one universe. And like that, there are millions and zillions of universes. But this is all material world, covered with earth, water, fire, air, ether, the 8 layers. And then comes the Karana ocean, the causal ocean, which is with the transcendental sweat of the Lord. Then comes brahmajyoti, which is being talked about here. Then comes Adi Kailash, and then comes Vaikuntha. So this brahmajyoti is Krishna's effulgence. This is like kind of the, like the border of material and spiritual world. It's not completely spiritual. The Sat aspect is there, but the Chit and the Ananda aspect is missing. So, because there is no connection, right? Just imagine how many of us would like to be in a dark room for 10 years. No one will bother us, we'll not get disease, no one will say anything. Just should be there. There will be no mosquitoes biting us, or no fear also. Just be there. No, nothing. Just be there. Just be present. Do nothing. No one will want even for 10 hours, what to speak of infinite time. So therefore, it's mentioned in this purport, they cannot gain entrance until their heart is soft. In the previous verse we read, they think, no, I can get there on my own, right? In the previous verse we read, those who are liberated by their own effort. Jnanis, yogis, things like that. But bhaktas are not in that category. Bhaktas, they easily go to Vaikuntha planets simply by the dint of their devotional service. And these are all different Vaikuntha planets. Narsimhaloka, Matsaloka, Ayodhya, then followed by all the way up to Dwarka and then Goloka, Vrindavan, Dham. This is a very very famous chart, material world and spiritual world. Any more thoughts anyone has in this connection? So the 4 muktis we discussed in the previous verse, and one is mentioned here, Sayujya. Let's read the next verse. Yes, Kashish Mataji, please. And it's very good if you can raise hands. It helps me to understand who is eager and willing to read. So I don't put you on spot. You may be busy or something, and I will know who is in a position and eagerness to read. So we can flow smoothly. Yes, Mataji.
Ji, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Dhanavad Pranam all devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 32. Vaikuntha bahire eka jyotirmaya mandala Krishnera angira prabha parama ujvala. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Outside the Vaikuntha planet is the atmosphere of the glowing effulgence, which consists of the supremely bright rays of the body of Lord Krishna. So, Prabhuji, here they are describing the Vaikuntha's planets' lights. They're saying it's all because of the bright rays emerging from the body of the Lord. So we can imagine that how wonderful it will be. We can just imagine, Prabhu. I don't know how many births we will need. I will need to reach there once. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
You reminded me of a story, which is very, very fit in this connection. So first of all, I just want to clarify, the word is Vaikuntha Bahire. Vaikuntha Bahire. Outside the Vaikuntha planets is the brahmajyoti, which is we just discussed, the glowing effulgence as shown in this picture as well. This is the effulgence as mentioned here also. Krishna's effulgence. It's a little getting blurred when I zoom in a lot, but this is being referred, and you see like this rays coming. That's why the sky is blue, because you see this like rays coming out from Krishna. So Krishna is Purna Shakti Man. The sun rays come from the sun, not by something, just even the rays coming from a source of light. That means there is a source of light, then the light rays are coming from the source of light. That source, that origin, that Adi, that primeval is the Supreme Bhagavan. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. And that Brahman, which is the effulgence outside the Vaikuntha, is the effulgence of the Lord. Talking about one's own effort and Krishna's mercy. This reminds a very beautiful story which Prabhupada quotes multiple times, which most of you have heard, but for my own purification, our purification, I'll share again. One time Narad Muni was going, and there was a very big Pandit, very, very proud of his scholarship, and I know a lot of verses. You know, I have passed exam of 108 verses of Bhagavad Gita, and I got certificate also, and very, very proud of his knowledge. Knowledge is supposed to make one humble. Vidya dadati vinayam. But if that knowledge is not properly channelized, it can lead to pride also. Therefore, we have to be very, very careful. Why are we studying scriptures? Not to develop pride, but to develop humility. But this Pandit somehow was very, very proud of his learning, of his capability, and thinking, oh, I do this yajna and this puja and that puja, and I'm very, very scholarly. I'm sure it's very, very certain that I will go back home, back to Godhead, right? And Narad Muni was passing by, and he met this Pandit, this scholarly Brahmana Pandit met Narad Muni and said, Narad Muni, how are you? Haribol. Well, I know I'm very, very learned, scholarly Pandit. I'm very confident I'm going back to Godhead after I leave this body. But anyways, no, you go. Actually, before that, let's come to the other part. Before that, you come to Narad Muni met a cobbler, a person who does like shoemaking, shoe repair, very menial business. A cobbler. He was very humble. He had a lot of, his shop and in his small hut, whatever humble things he had to maintain his family. He was, stitching shoes and stuff. But he used to remember Krishna in that time. He used to remember, but he was not able to do exclusively much. But he was always thinking of Krishna. And that's what Krishna also says, that Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarya yuddhacha. At all times, remember me and fight. Arjuna's duty was fighting. For the cobbler, the duty was to stitch shoes, maintain shoes, repair shoes, make shoes, etc., which he was nicely following Bhagavad Gita. But in the heart, he was so humble, genuinely. And I don't know many shlokas. I didn't memorize even one shloka. My life is so polluted. I have to do, like shoemaking. It's not a very high class job or business, right? Like if I ask kids, how many of you want to be a cobbler? No one will raise their hand, right? So, and which is fine. But the point is that he was very humble, and he met Narad Muni. He said, Narad Muni, my life is so sinful. Look at the kind of work I'm doing, just lying around in the middle of the shoes all the time. And I have no scope. There's no way for me to go back to Godhead, to Vaikuntha Loka. But you are a dear servant of Lord Vishnu. You please, when you go, can you please ask him if there's even slightest chance in even after millions of lifetimes, if I could ever go to Vaikuntha Loka? I don't think I have any hope, even after 1 million lifetimes or 10 million lifetimes. But still, can you please ask if there is little hope? He said, okay, sure. Yeah, I'm going to meet him soon. I'll ask. And then Narad Muni was passing by, comes to this Brahmana, which I shared in the earlier part. Brahmana, he said, was already very proud. When one is proud, one may even disrespect great souls. And he said, Narad Muni, how are you? And he was very proud, thinking, yes, I'm all set to go back home, back to Godhead. Narad Muni said, I'm going to Vaikuntha. Do you want me to check with Lord Vishnu? When is your ticket getting confirmed? That means when are you coming back home, back to Godhead? In this lifetime or next, or after 5 lifetimes or whatever? He said, not really required, because I'm so confident that I'm certainly going to go because of my learning, my shlokas, my intelligence, and my this, my that. I am so intelligent. Others are fool. They don't know how to recite verses. They don't know how to read Bhagavatam. I am so great. I get up and do all these things. When I is in the center, Krishna is not in the center. We have to become Krishna-centered, Krishna-conscious, not I-conscious. But nonetheless, Narad Muni, you're going, so you can anyways ask Lord Vishnu. Okay, good. So Narad Muni goes and comes back after a few days and meets the Brahmana. The Brahmana was so confident. He said, did you meet Lord Vishnu? Yes. And Lord Vishnu said that you will not come to back home even after 10 million lifetimes. He said, what? Maybe you're telling someone else's result, right? My results should be after this lifetime. No, it is for you. Lord Vishnu's results don't have any kind of mistake. He said, I'm sure you didn't go back to Lord Vishnu. You must be making this stuff, Okay, if you went to Lord Vishnu, then tell me what he was doing, right? And he said that, Narad Muni said that he was putting the elephant through the eye of a needle. The needle eye is quite small. He was putting the elephant through the eye of a needle. He said, ha. See, this proves that you didn't go. How can such a big elephant go? The needle's eye is so fine, even, it's not so easy to even put the thread from there, what to speak of putting the big elephant. So that proves that you are just lying and cooking up stories and just. So Narad Muni went to the cobbler. The cobbler was again remembering Krishna, chanting Govinda, Govinda, Govinda Hari, Govinda, Govinda, Gopala Hari. Like that, chanting the holy names, at the same time doing his stitching, making shoes, whatever he was supposed to do, and was very patiently greeted. Narad Muni welcomed him, give a straw mat, give some water, whatever he could do with his humble offerings he had, and was very excited to see Narad Muni, and was very, very welcoming. So Narad Muni, and then the conversation started that, what Lord Vishnu said? That after this life, when you complete your business in this life, you will be going back home, back to Godhead. And this person was in great, great ecstasy. Oh, my Lord is so merciful. A person who is so sinful, so least deserving, but Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra. Especially in this age, Lord Jagannath, look at his mercy. People don't want to take his mercy. He comes to the streets. He comes to the Snana Vedi outside the temple, so people on the streets also can take the darshan. People, even those who are not allowed inside the temple to go inside the temple, they can take. And Srila Prabhupada is such a great empowered representative of Lord Krishna, who gave Lord Jagannath to the whole world. Their Jagannath Yatra happening in close to 1,000 cities across the world. Why? Only because of Srila Prabhupada. Because he's really Jagannath. He's not just Puri Nath, the Lord of Puri. He's the Lord of the universe. So finally, the Brahmana was, the cobbler was very, very like in ecstasy and very, very happy and crying in ecstasy, and the compassion and the mercy of the Lord for the least deserving, least qualified person like myself. And then he asked, what was my Lord doing? He said, then Narad Muni replied, he was putting the elephant to the eye of a needle. And he was like, look at my Lord, he's so merciful, he can do anything. And Narad Muni said, do you believe that he was doing that? He said, why not? Look there are some trees. Well, how big is the seed of the tree? 1 centimeter, like 1/10 of an inch, right? Some seeds are so small. And the tree which grows up, like banyan tree, big tree, some trees are like hundreds of feet high. If he can put such a big tree in the small seed, why can't he pass the elephant in through the eye of a needle? So this is a very famous story Prabhupada quotes to show what are the real qualities required to go home back to Godhead, and what qualities are not so favorable to go back home, back to Godhead. I hope you relished that. We will move on to the next verse. So, Krishna Mataji, please don't feel no.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. The real quality is humility, which you have in great abundance. 33. Yes, Vipul bro, you want to read, please? And then Lakshya can read the next one.
Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 33. Siddhalok naam tar prakriti par chit swarup taha nahi chit shakti vikar. Translation by His Divine Grace is Bhakti Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Giris Joy. That region is called Siddhaloka, and it is beyond the material nature. Its essence is spiritual, but it does not have spiritual varieties. So there is another name is I'm confused, Prabhuji. It is another name of the effulgence, or because it is Chit Shakti. Chiddulok naam tar pura Chit Swarup. So Shat Chidana, so it has a knowledge. Chit means knowledge, but knowledge should not be in the brahmajyoti. You explain, Prabhuji. Thank you.
The critical word is nahi. Nahi chit shakti vikhar. So the spiritual energies, the variegatedness is not present there. Tanha over there, it's not present. The variegatedness, that the varieties of spiritual rasas, the Sakhya ras, Shanti, the Vatsalya, Madhurya, friendship, exchange is not present. So from text 32 to 39, which we are studying now, is all description about the Siddha Lokas. The Siddha Lokas, also referred as the effulgence, kind of analogous or similar and synonyms here. So it's at the proximity, it's above the material world, it's close to spiritual world, but there is no spiritual variety, right? That's the point here. Siddhas, those who focus more on one's endeavor. Hum siddh hain. No, I am the siddha, I'll go there. No. Aham brahmasmi, I am that. So hum, all these people say like that. So hum, I am that. One time, Krsna Maharaj was speaking of the story, the impersonalist and a devotee, he said, so hum, I'm that. Like I'm that Brahman, right? I'm that supreme, or I'll become that supreme. And the devotee approached and said, what shall I do? He said, this impersonalist gave me this word, the name Soham, I'm that. He said, you add the word Das. You become Dasoham. I'm the servant of that supreme. And he went back to his impersonalist teacher. He added the word Sa. Sa Sada Soham. I am always that. Sada means always. And then he went to this Brahmana, the devotee, Vaishnava. He had the word Da. Das Dasoham. I'm the servant of that. I like that. They are having a transcendental, he said, devotees are very intelligent. But so this Soham, Aham, Brahmasmi, all these things may be used, but devotees don't use those terms. But at least it's good to know. So let's read about 34, because we are not saying that this is false or this is, ultimately, this is one of the aspects of Krishna's realization, Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So we are not negating, hey, this is also Krishna. This is like Krishna's energy. Like, for example, if I disrespect the rules by the government, I'm disrespecting the government. I remember I one time, like if I go to, let's say, Lakshay Prabhu's house and he has let's say, some toy, I just take his toy and throw out of the window. I'm not disrespecting Lakshay Prabhu, right? But I am indirectly disrespecting him by negating that. Oh, this is false. Get rid out of this, right? I mean, you will feel disrespected, right, Lakshay Prabhu? If I take your which is object, which you connect with, right? your toy, your bike, your whatever, you will feel disrespected. So devotees don't disrespect, but the right understanding and the right respect is important. So we don't, we understand what's our goal. At the same time, we understand the difference as well. Is it okay, everyone? Good till here? Any thoughts, additions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So this Siddhya Loka is a part of brahmajyoti. It's outside of Vaikuntha.
Yes, so there all this till 39th verses, till text 39. We're going to read a lot about Siddhaloka. So I suggest that we read some more verses, and our adults will get more clear. Okay. Perfect. Okay, Lakshay Prabhu, please.
Suryamandalayena bahire nirvishesa bitre suryera rata adis savishesa. Translation: it is like the homogeneous effulgence around the sun, but inside the sun are the chariots, horses, and other opulences of the sun god. Purple. Outside of Vaikuntha, the abode of Krishna, which is called Paravyoma, is the glaring effulgence of Krishna's bodily rays. This is called the brahmajyoti. The transcendental region of the effulgence is called Siddhaloka or Brahmaloka. When impersonalists achieve liberation, they merge into that Brahmaloka effulgence. The transcendental region is undoubtedly spiritual, but contains no manifestations of spiritual activities or vegetativeness. It is compared to the glow of the sun. Within the sun's glow is the sphere of the sun, where one can experience all sorts of varieties. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Lakshay Prabhu. Any comments, learnings from this verse?
In this verse, it's like saying, that Krishna is like Vaikuntha is like the sun, and the brahmajyoti is like the sun's rays, like the sun rays or the sun's effulgence, and brahmajyoti is Krishna's effulgence, and Krishna is in Vaikuntha.
You know the essence of all the scriptures. Big Gyanis, big Pandits, big Vedantists will not be able to explain that point. One time Prabhupada, a lot of big Vedantists and big people came, professors. Prabhupada asked a simple question: who is God? He said, God, how can we explain God like this? He's so inconceivable, he's unimaginable, he is this, he is that. And they spoke for 10 minutes. And then little daughter of another devotee couple, Saraswati, Prabhupada asked her, who is God? She said, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada gave her a candy, a sweet, and she knows more than you. This is, Bhakti is so simple. So simple to understand. The sunlight comes from the sun. Very simple. That sun is Krishna, the source. And the sunlight is the Brahman effulgence. So basically all these are, as we were discussing, the 14 to 31 verse talk about Paravyoma, or the spiritual world, or the Vaikuntha. Paravyom word is used here, which we have already discussed in great detail, 14 to 31. Now 32 to 39 are primarily talking about Brahman effulgence. Also the word used here is Siddhaloka. Sometimes the word Siddhaloka is also used for the Brahmaloka, as is used here as well. But so we have to understand in what context it is used. The point here is that yes, they are very, very advanced beings, impersonalist majority, and they go to the impersonal effulgence. What is missing there? Sa Vishesha. Sa Vishesha. Vishesha means special. The varieties of flavors, right? We all like flavors, is it not? Who wants to eat one thing 3 times a day, 30 days a month? Anyone? Loves eating that. Anyone? Likes rice or dal? Whether it's the best quality rice, best quality dal, we can eat, okay, 1 or 2 days, we can repeat, 3 days, we can repeat, 4, 5, 1 week, Baba, 1. But imagine for eternity, just one thing, keep eating that every day. No one wants that, right? We like variety, flavors. Prabhupada says variety adds to the varieties like the rasa. Even the garland, when it has multiple flowers, it appears very, very, more appealing and enchanting. Similarly, in the devotional community also, we have a lot of variety. All the, the devotees are like flowers, different natures, different abilities. Someone plays nice pradanga, someone sings nicely, someone is good in book distribution, Sudhir Prabhu, someone sings very nicely, like Paswati Mataji, someone is very, very scholarly, like Prem Sankirtan Prabhu, someone is good in other, management aspects, like our dear Bipul Prabhu, and someone is young, like Lakshya Prabhu, someone is very, very humble, like Kashish Mataji, someone is always very eager for service, like Sushilpa Mataji, and someone always wants to do whatever is asked to do, like Ekant Prabhu, and Ravi Prabhu and Gopta Prabhu are also here, always eager for service, and someone always wants to, help the devotees, facilitate the devotees, like Puna Mataji. So all of you are so special flowers, connected with the thread of Krishna. Krishna consciousness is a thread which connects us all. And that offering, that garland of beautiful flowers, like all of you, that devotional community, that Krishna conscious society, ours is a society, right? International society, keeping Krishna consciousness as the center. That's a beautiful offering. Krishna loves that. Variety adds to flavor. So that variety aspect is missing in the Siddha or the Brahmaloka, or sorry, here the brahmajyoti aspect. So Krishna Surya Sama. Krishna is like the sun. And the Shakti, the effulgence is the brahmajyoti, his rays. Any more thoughts, comments here? Next verse, 35. Ravi Prabhu or Gupta Prabhu, are you in a position to read?
Hare Kṛṣna, Prabhuji. You
Yes.
glorified all of us, but you didn't say anything about yourself. You are the thread who has kept us bound. If you are not there, Prabhuji, we won't be able to do even a single task every day like eating Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So it's all glories to you, Prabhu.
The Prabhupada's mercy, all glories to Prabhupada, that we're all here and chanting, right? And glorifying Bhagavatam, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So thank you to all of you for joining, and with your wonderful, unique flavors, varieties, you're contributing so much to Prabhupada's mission in different capacities. This is very, very nice. So Gupta Prabhu wants to read. Please, Prabhu.
Hare Kṛṣna Prabhuji's, Hare Kṛṣna devotees. Kama deveshan bhayat snehad yata bhaktaishware manaha avishyatan agham hitva bhavastangatim gataha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. As through devotion to the Lord one can attain His abode, many have attained that goal by abandoning their sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear, or affection. Purport. As the powerful sun, by its glowing rays, can purify all kinds of impurities, so thus all spiritual personality of Godhead can purify all material qualities in a person He attracts. Even if one is attracted by Godhead in the mode of material lust, such attraction is converted into spiritual love of Godhead by His grace. Similarly, if one is related to the Lord in fear and animosity, he also becomes purified by the spiritual attraction of the Lord. Although God is great and the living entity small, they are spiritual individuals, and therefore as soon as there is a reciprocal exchange by the living entity's free will, at once the great spiritual being attracts the small living entity, thus freeing him from all material bondage. This is a verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 7th Canto, verse 30th.
You want to share something more, Prabhuji, about your thoughts, comments? Thank you for reading this beautiful verse.
Well, for one thing, it gives me the understanding that Krishna being Vibhu, great, actually Krishna is greatest, and the jivas being Anu, small, that we are dependent on Krishna, whether it is for our material gain or spiritual gain. Everything comes from Krishna. Everything is given by Krishna, and if we can apply our material, let's say, faults like lust, anger, etc., in the service of the Lord, He can purify us. That's by His association. That's my little take on it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. There's a beautiful verse which says, Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshaye. By hook or crook, mana Krishna niveshaye. Absorb or put our mind in thinking about Krishna. So, kamad, krodhad, or dveshad, bhayad, snehad. So, kam means lust, material lust. Dveshad, dvesha is envy, jealousy. Bhayat, fear. Sneha, affection. Yatha bhakteshware manaha. So, engaging the mind, the mana, even by these emotions. The examples like Shishupal was always thinking, envious of Krishna from the very childhood. Kamsa was so fearful. Where is my Kal? Where is my Kal? Hiranyakashipu always thinking, where is Nrsimhadev? Where is he getting energy from? Is he here? Is he there? Ravana was always chanting, thinking about his Kal, Ram, who's going to come kill me. He's going to come. Even in the dreams he was thinking that Rama will come and kill me. So that's also absorption. Man mana bhav mad bhakto. Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 text 34, Prabhupada in the purport elaborates that we have to engage our mind in Krishna, but in a favorable way. they also engage their mind, which is certainly better actually than thinking about mundane stuff. But that's not the best bhakti, although it will also reap some results. And of course, we know Shupal, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, etc. were devotees, but they are playing the role in a transcendental drama. So it's a very nice verse actually from the Canto 7, the story of Prahlad Maharaj. This comes in the first chapter itself, where, and actually there's a following verse which sometimes, it says that actually it's even stronger. The negative emotions are even stronger than the positive emotions. But nonetheless, and actually there is just the next verse is the example of that. Gopya kamad bhayat kamso. In the previous verse we read the emotions, kamad, dveshad, bhayat, etc. Dveshas chedadyo nripaha, Chediraj, the Shishupal, Sambandhanad Varshneya Snehad. The Sneha means the Yadus by their familial, my dear king, not only speaking to Yudhishthira, the Gopis by their lusty desires, Kamsa by this fear, Shishupal and other kings by their envy, Yadus by their familiar relationship with Krishna, and Pandavas with great affection. And the general devotees by devotional service have obtained the mercy of Krishna. So again prakar connecting to Krishna, somehow the other connecting to Krishna, but we know that the best way is to connect in a favorable way, not to think of harming of Krishna, but to think of, like Mata Yashoda, of Krishna's protection, of loving Krishna. So the other line which I really liked in this, even if one is attracted in the mode of material lust, that even lust is a bad quality, right? Material lust is not spiritual lust or love. Such attraction is converted to spiritual love of Godhead by His grace. By His grace. The famous example which comes to my mind is the story of Dhanurdas, one of the disciples of Ramanujacharya. Dhanurdas was so enchanted, so fixed up in the beauty of the opposite sex, his, like the female companion he had. So attached, just imagine the big procession, not the Rath Yatra, but they take the Lord Ranganath, the Utsava Murti, they take for a procession, similar to Rath Yatra. Very big procession is going with pomp and drums and kettle drums and mridanga, kartal, everything. But this person is carrying the umbrella over his female partner and absorbed, just looking at, just imagine the procession is going from this side. Everyone is chanting, dancing, but this person is looking at the eyes of that female and carrying the umbrella over her head to protect her from the sun. And the people said, wow, ha, 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 alas, what is chichi. This person is so lusty, he can't even hear these big sounds, mridanga, and if so lusty. Ramacharya called him, bring him. And somehow he got to his senses after being really shaken by, and he said that, sorry, I can't find anything more beautiful in the world than the eyes of my female partner. And Ramacharya said, come to the temple tomorrow. And if you find something more beautiful, will you dovetail your material lust to that object? He said, I would, but I highly doubt that there is something more beautiful. So it's not going to happen anyways, but I'll come. So Ramacharya showed him the Mangala Darshan. And if you have been to Sri Rangam, it's all in the dark temple, altar, the sacred altar. They show the darshan from the feet. The Lord is lying down in his lying down state, and they show the lamp gradually from the lotus feet and all the way to the beautiful lotus-eyed Ranganath. And when he saw the beautiful lotus eye of Sri Ranganath, he said, I have never seen anything as beautiful as the Lord. At that time only, he gave up all his material lust and said, henceforth, my life is to serve Sri Ranganath and his pure devotee, Sri Ramanujacharya. His life was completely took a U-turn. And this line fits so well. By his grace. His means the grace of Lord and the grace of his bona fide devotees. Right? Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. So by the grace of Guru and Krishna, the lust can be converted to love. The anger, resentment, the Shishupal-like envy will be converted to love and glorification. Of course, we have to do our part by taking shelter of bona fide Guru, because the grace will follow, the grace will come in proportion to our surrender, our endeavor. So this is a very, very nice verse. Any thoughts, comments before we wrap up for today? Anyone has? Gupta Prabhu? Yes, please, Prabhu.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Please.
One question that comes to mind is when we speak of Krishna's mercy for like personalities like Shishupal and so forth, one question is, did they all receive the same type of liberation, or did they go to different destination based on their mentality towards Krishna? That's one question. The other is the difference between mukti and vimukti. I think, yeah, if you can explain, please.
Krishna, thank you, Prabhu. So to your first question, the short answer is no. They got different types of destinations. The people who died in front of Krishna in the battle of Kurukshetra, Shishupal, Dantavakra were of course Jai and Vijay after they completed their pastimes as Krishna's enemies in 3 lifetimes. They again went to their service as Jai and Vijay. Prabhupada answers this differently at different places, but the short answer is based on their intentions. Like Putana, she became a mother and she went to Goloka Vrindavan. Causeless mercy, very, very special case, because she had little desire. Ishvara Swabhavar Bhaktir Nalai Aprada Alpaseva Bahumani Atma Prayanta. So Krishna saw little desire for service to feed me milk, forgot about the poison, sent back home like a mother, like a dhatri. So that's the short answer to the first question. The next answer is mukti and vimukti. Mukti is generally referred to as liberation. Vimukti is special liberation. And that's basically what the Vaishnava way of calling back home, back to Godhead. In general, common parlance, mukti, if we call in general terms, the first thing which will come in people's mind, or even like a general person from Hindu background, if they were talking about mukti, they will say mukti. Mukti means mukta ho jaye sab dukh mukh khatam, and we go to in Bhagwan, we become one with God. That's generally the common understanding of mukti. There are different categories which we just read, but vimukti is vishesha mukti. Vishesha mukti means special mukti. That special mukti is basically going back home, back to Godhead in different spiritual planets, and relish, not lose one's existence. We don't lose our identity, but we develop our real identity, that is our swarupa, our true identity as Krishna's servant, and serve in different variegated varieties. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Does that answer, Prabhu, your question?
Thank you, Prabhuji. I just have one more to add, question to ask. So, like, I know you quoted the Shikshastakam verse where we would aspire for devotion birth after birth. The question I have is, as a neophyte, is it okay to aspire for liberation? or should we adopt the mentality of well, whatever Krishna wants for me, and it will happen?
Yes. One devotee asked this question. So if we ask for liberation, certainly we should not ask for Sayujya Mukti, that's for sure. We can ask, for other muktis, like basically going back home, back to Godhead, and which we do say in our, in the general preaching, outreach, we just say chant Hare Kṛṣṇa and go back home, back to Godhead, or be happy, right? Because that's a place of eternal happiness. Our business is to go to real home, so which is fine. Mora e abhilash vilas kunja diyovas, right? Which is a prayer we do every day. Krishna, give me residence in the spiritual world where I can serve you. So that's fine. So rather than saying mukti, we can say more specific terms like Goloka Vrindavan, right? Krishna, please give me residence in Goloka Vrindavan. That's what we are aspiring for. Or give me residence in the spiritual world. Because then our doubt in the terms will get clearer inside, and we'll be able to share better also. So it's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong. In fact, the Tulsi prayer which you just quoted is basically asking for that. So there's nothing wrong in if someone is seeking that or asking Krishna. But in the pure state, much pure, like Prahlad Maharaj, he says, Krishna, Maharobi Rakhubi Amito Tumar. You keep me here, you keep me there, I am yours. You know what's best for me. I am just your servant. But we don't have to artificially imitate it. Let's be natural. And both the prayers are absolutely fine. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry if I spoke or comments, corrections, please feel free to correct. And a little over time here, but we will pause now and continue tomorrow. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai, Śrī Krishna Skaraj Goswami ki jai, Śrī Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Śrī Snani Yatra Mahamotsav ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva patitana pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much.